It's so funny to think that JD Vance is not going to play the role of a loyal dog to Donald Trump. Like JD Vance, who got the position because he is the best at brown nosing, is not going to still turn around and be like, yeah, no, Mr. President, you want to do troops in Yemen? I love that. I'll lead the charge for you. What is the New York Times saying about this? Bared U.S. aims in Yemen, but defeating Houthis won't be easy. News analysis from the New York Times. U.S. officials seek to curb the militants' attacks on ships in the Red Sea, but the group has not been deterred by strikes in the Biden era and won't be beaten by air power alone, experts say. Now, this is a New York Times report on this, analysis on this. Peter Eves reported from Washington, Ismail Nar from Dubai, United Arab Emirates. The truth of the matter is, yes, the Houthis and the Yemeni people are undeterred. A decade of genocide and famine induced by American-backed Saudi coalition forces, UAE coalition forces, did not stop them from striking back against Saudi Arabia. And seemingly, the American bombing campaign, Operation Prosperity Guardian, did not stop them from consistently shutting off areas of trade alongside their coastline into the Red Sea. Okay? They have not stopped. And they still haven't stopped, by the way. This past week, 12 days of consistent bombing every single day in Yemen, because they have not stopped bombing Yemen, has left them as determined as ever. The bombshell publication of a group chat, blah, 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 it doesn't matter. Whether it's now or several weeks from now, high-level hopes in the Signal chat, which became public after the Atlantic Shiva. This part we already covered endlessly. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because, like, this is the New York Times saying, like, you have to do more war, boots on the ground, military warfare. Middle East experts said the Iran-backed Houthis won't be easily beaten. Few wars have been won with air power alone, and some military experts say it will be no different than the Houthis. It will be no different with the Houthis. The biggest shipping companies have little appetite for returning to the Red Sea. They have found a workaround that, while inconvenient and costly, allows them to avoid those lanes and deliver goods on time. James R. Holes, the J.C. Wiley chair of the Maritime Strategy at the Naval War College in Rhode Island, said that even during the U.S. war to remove Iraq from Kuwait, when air power was at its apex, a land invasion was necessary. Defeating the Houthis might require an occupation. Defeating the Houthis might require an occupation. Get excited. Okay? Get excited, everybody. You might have to control turf to win, Mr. Holmes said. Aircraft cannot occupy territory, however valuable a supporting capability they are for armies and Marines. The Houthis may even use the U.S. military strikes, analysts say, to bolster their position in Yemen and farther afield as other Iranian proxies like the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah have suffered heavy loss at the hands of Israel. The latest U.S. strikes are a direct answer to the Houthi prayers to have a war with the U.S., said Faria al-Muslimi, a Yemeni research fellow at Chatham House, a research institute based in London. He said the group wants to drag the U.S. into a larger regional escalation. And by God, we're going to give them that. Okay? Not just New York Times. Jewish Insider. VP's reluctance to support Houthi strikes concerns some leading GOP senators. Punchbowl News backs up Jewish Insiders reporting on concerns from GOP senators over Vance's pushback against Houthi strikes. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. This morning, Josh Kraushaar ran a hit piece against me in Jewish Insider, which has become an anti-JD rag. It has many problems, including 7 anonymous quotes from cowardly Republicans. But most glaring factual error is the below, which says the Houthis killed 3 Americans last January. Actually, the group responsible for the attack was the Islamic Resistance in Iraq, which is an entirely different militia group. Now, you might say this is evidence of Kraushaar being the biggest hack in Washington, and you may be correct. Another very plausible explanation is that he's the dumbest journalist in Washington. Either way, shocking an error like this could get through his vaunted editorial process. Yeah, sick 'em. It's so funny to think that JD Vance is not going to play the role of a loyal dog to Donald Trump. Like JD Vance, who got the position because he is the best at brown nosing, is not going to still turn around and be like, yeah, no, Mr. President, you want to fucking do troops in Yemen? I love that. I'll lead the charge for you. It's so funny. Yeah, dude, JD Vance himself was really not on board. Like, there is no other country on the planet that does this to the United States of America. I cannot. It's so insane that there are entire media operations that masquerade as Jewish media operations, for the record, like Jewish Insider, that just simply are pro-Israel dish rags that get bully people for not being sufficiently pro-Israel. People who are themselves very much pro-Israel, by the way. There is no world in which JD Vance is unconditionally pro-Israel. Like, what are we talking about? Jesus Christ. Christ, dude. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. And he has to respond. The reason why he had to respond to that is because, oh no, God forbid. Do you guys understand how psychotic this is? I'm not alone in this, right? I hope. Like, Signal group chat leaks. You got the New York Times paper of record writing analysis on how we have to do boots on the ground warfare in Yemen. Bombing Yemen is not enough. Simply bombing Yemen is not enough. Obama did it. Trump did it first term. Biden did it. And Trump is doing it again. It's not enough, clearly. They're undeterred. We must deter them. How do we deter them? Boots on the ground. It's so crazy. Like, what are we doing? This is not a country, okay? We are not a serious country at all. This is insane. Anti-Semite. Stop you. They will say you are an anti-Semite. Yeah, okay, first of all, they do say that already. So, welcome to the anti-Semitism headquarters over here, okay? Are you new? I was nominated for an award. Genuine question, just can't be like Iraq, right? When we invaded, 70% of Americans believed Saddam was involved in 9/11. They would have to do a shit ton of manufactured consent to get us to that point again. I mean, judging by what liberals say or what liberals said under the Biden administration, I'll be honest with you. I think that they don't really need to do much because the remnants of all of the consent that was manufactured for the war on terror post 9/11 in America is still very much here. So they don't need to do much. They just need to be like, they're backed by Iran. Iran is big bad. We have to kill them. They hate America. They're burning American flags, which they are, which, by the way, they should. Like, are you kidding me? They're burning American flags and Israeli flags. They're anti-Semitic, you know? What I don't understand is why no one is making the calculation of deterrence. Like, I guess they're expecting Iran and Iranian restraint to be maintained in this process, and that Iran won't actually retaliate, give the weapons to Yemen to retaliate themselves if they choose to do so, even though they have been doing that already by lighting Saudi oil refineries on fire and just causing a complete collapse of the global economy. Like, that's it. That is the weapon here. They don't need nukes. They can just like dump payload on top of oil refineries and just nuke the global economy. America is a threat to Americans, LMFAO reaching. Yeah. They don't have the capability of arming Yemen in a ground invasion. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that a permanent military occupation in Yemen will be devastating for America as it is devastating for Yemen. But it'll be especially, and I'm going to say this again, devastating for America. And in that process, they will light half of the oil refineries on fire. They have done so in the past as a symbolic gesture before. I don't think Saudi Arabia wants that either. And if you weren't so horny to defend Israel inside of the State Department, you would have to recognize that that is a very foreseeable outcome of all of this. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why they're like, no, we have to. Because the other pathway out of this, of course, as I have mentioned time and time again, is to rein in America's attack dog and to say, you're done. You're done. It's over. You're done. It's over. It's done. No more. Okay? Enough. That's it. That's all you need to do. All it takes is a phone call. If they stop, if America forces Israel to stop in Gaza, Yemen no longer implements a blockade in the Red Sea. Okay? That's it. We already know that. They have done it. And that's it. That's all it would take. That's all that is something that has happened thus far. So I just I don't understand how like that is such an impossible goal from the perspective of the American State Department, rather than lighting the entire region and potentially oil refineries on fire in the process.